After a long break, the Team Quadrilla Marble League has finally returned. Welcome everyone to the penultimate event of Season 3, it's Zone Collision, and in this event, teams will be battling to see who can remain in contention heading into the finale. In Zone Collision, if you're unfamiliar, teams will collide in the middle of this arena coming from either side, and where the marbles settle after the collision will determine how many points they contribute to their team. Each team will get 2 tries per heat, one from either side, so everyone has multiple opportunity to contribute points. We'll show very shortly just exactly how the different zones yield different points depending on where you come from. For example, for a team coming from the left, as you can see, they will get more points going further towards the right, and if you stay off the course, you can get maximum 5 points, but if you stay on the arena, that's a maximum of 10 points. You get double points for staying on the arena. Coming from the right, you want to get as far to the left as possible. The essential idea is you want to get as far into your opponent's zone as possible. Looking at the standings after Event 14, the Red Lotus have a 2-point lead over the Green Lotus, and it's the defending champions, the Slime Balls, in third, Valley Dashers and the Poison Ivy, rounding out the top 5. Remember, 2 periods per heat. In the first heat, Green Lotus and the Hazelnuts. Hazelnuts won this event the only time it was held in the B Division last season. They have reverted to that lineup, but I think the Green Lotus actually will get the edge in the first period. You can see everyone is bunched up towards the Hazelnuts side. That's not good for the Hazelnuts. The Green Lotus, they have gotten further into the Hazelnuts than the Hazelnuts have to the Green Lotus. And as a result, 15-8. That was pretty one-sided first period. The Hazelnuts had everyone just in the 2. So they have a 7-point deficit to make up in the second period. Maybe coming from the left. What can the Hazelnuts do? Quite a balanced collision. I can't really tell who's ahead in this period. That's good for the Green Lotus because they want to maintain their advantage and get advancement as the second place team of the championship. One of the Hazelnuts well far into the Green Lotus zone. That's 5 points for them, but they only overcome by 2 points. And as a result, Green Lotus will get advancement over the Hazelnuts 26-21. That is good for them and their title hopes as the second place team. Now, Valley Dashers and the Aquamarines. Valley Dashers are 4th place in the championship. They're going to have to hope to advance as well if they want to keep pace with the Green Lotus. Valley Dashers, they have won well into the Aquamarine zone in the near side. That will be good for them. That will be 5 points for that marble. Aquamarines, they won't get any 5 points, but I think they'll get a pair of 4s, and as a result, just 14-2 to the Valley Dashers after the first period. Aquamarines, though, that deficit is only 2 points. They can make up that deficit, not too badly. Aquamarines now will be coming from the left. Valley Dashers from the right. And Aquamarines, Valley Dashers, will they stay on the beam? They will not. And as a result, that might have cost them good points, because that would have been an 8 versus what is now only going to be a 4 for that marble. And Aquamarines, they're looking pretty good, 14-10, and as a result, they've made up the deficit. Aquamarines will advance 26-24, and that is going to be an upset for the Valley Dashers. They will not get advancement, and their downward spiral in the past few events continue. Now, Bobble Squad and the Yellow Lotus. On the contrary, Bobble Squad, they won the last event in the Gauntlet run. We're hoping to continue that good form here. Will that marble stay on? Yellow Lotus, they will not. I was thinking we'd get our first marble that stayed on the arena, but we'll have to wait a bit for that, I suppose. Bobble Squad, you can see all of those marbles bunched up. They're off the course, but they're all bunched up well in the Yellow Lotus zone. And actually, the Yellow Lotus didn't do too bad either, because it's only 2 points in the Bobble Squad's favor. That 2 points can be made up, especially since it seems like the left side has typically come out on top in each period. Yellow Lotus, they do seem to get further, they do seem to get there first, but the Bobble Squad will get our first marble remaining on the beam. And as a result, the Bobble Squad, I think they will confirm that they will advance. They only advanced by 1 point in this period, but they already had an advantage, and so the Bobble Squad 30-27, without a doubt, they will be advancing to the quarterfinals. Now, in Heat 4, Efficient Eggs and the Shadow Riders. These teams seem like they've faced off a lot in this season. Efficient Eggs coming from the left, Shadow Riders from the right. Oh, will that Efficient Egg stay on? They will not. That will cost them some points. Shadow Riders, look at how many marbles. All of their marbles are in the Efficient Egg zone. They didn't stay on the arena. But they will certainly be getting 4s and 5s. Look at this, 4, 4, 5, and 5. And so it's 18 to 13 to the Shadow Riders after the first period. That's 5 points. Quite a big deficit for the Efficient Eggs to make up, especially since they're coming from the right in the second period. And the Efficient Eggs do it. Shadow Riders being led by Gloom in this event after their successes in the individual QML Zone Collision event, and I think it has worked out for them. Both teams have one kept on the arena. Efficient Eggs will be getting an 8. Shadow Riders will be getting a 6 though, and so I think that nullifies anything the Efficient Eggs can do, and Shadow Riders stretch that gap to a 37 to 30. Shadow Riders trending well of late, but 2 medals in the last 2 events. They will continue their good form here, maybe. Celestials and the Majestic Melons now in the 5th heat. Celestials coming from the left. Ooh, those first 3 marbles very early compared to the other 3, but look at that Celestial. The last Celestial has just gotten our first 10-pointer of the event. You can see they were just staying out of trouble, waiting for all the Majestic Melons to make their marks, make their collisions, and they got the 10 points and 22 to 10. Celestials, huge advantage after the first period. I don't know how the Majestic Melons are going to make this one up in the second. Majestic Melons, maybe the best they can do is just to hope to reduce that advantage. Advancement might be out of the question now. And Celestials, just to add insult to injury, they will have the only marble remaining on the arena for the second period. I think it's confirmed. Easily, Celestials will be moving on. Majestic Melons, they just couldn't really do anything here. They only lost out by 2 points in this period, but after that first period, the Celestials will get a 37 to 23 victory. That's a demolition if I've ever seen one. Celestials, they did well in this event last season in the B division. That's going to carry over here. Now, Poison Ivy and the Deep Divers in the 6th heat. Both of these teams podiumed overall last season. Ooh, Poison Ivy. They have 2 that are going to score 8, I think. Poison Ivy have 2 on the arena in the Deep Diver zone. Deep Divers have 1, but that's well in their own zone. And so I think the Deep Divers are very much on the back foot. Look at this, 22 to 10. Once again, it's the same gap, same scores from the first period in the last heat. Deep Divers struggling so much in this season compared to the last. How can they make up this deficit? We'll have to see. Coming from the left, the Deep Divers, do they have anything in the tank? They do not. The Poison Ivy, will that marble stay on? And yes, they will, just like in the previous heat. Just to add insult to injury, the team that had a huge advantage will just stretch that advantage, I think. And the Poison Ivy, this is going to be good for their title hopes as well. They're 5th place right now, but still a ways off in points to the top teams. And so actually they lose out to the Deep Divers in this period, but it's not going to matter whatsoever. Poison Ivy will get the win 35 to 24. Not even close. Now, in the 7th heat, Slime Balls and Team Atlantic, the defending champion from the left and our home team from the right. Slime Balls are sitting in 3rd right now. Oh, Team Atlantic, that last marble went well into the zone of the Slime Balls, but I think bounced off it. Almost went too quick into the Slime Ball zone, bouncing off the wall and just going way too quick, and bounced off and fell back off the arena entirely. That cost them big points, definitely, because it's now 12 to 11 to the Slime Ball's favor. Team Atlantic, can they make up the deficit though? It's only 1 point, so this really is still anyone's game. Can Team Atlantic do it? Team Atlantic, they will hit 110, but the Slime Balls will get an 8. So we'll have one very high scoring marble from both teams here. Those marbles staying on the arena, but I'm not sure if it's enough for Team Atlantic. It's 16 to 16. The other Team Atlantic marbles just didn't do enough. And as a result, by 1 point, the Slime Balls get advancement. That is amazing for their title chances, but heartbreak again for Team Atlantic, the home team. This has not gone the way they had hoped. Now, Red Lotus and the Icicles, the championship leaders, against the 16th place team. What can the Red Lotus do? Can they get advancement over the Icicles? Red Lotus got silver in this event in the B division last season. They will get, I think, a 4-point score with that one marble that stayed on the arena. Icicles will get 2 or 4, and Red Lotus are up by 4 points. It's not huge, but still a decent margin heading into the second period. Many teams hoping that the Icicles can pull an upset victory here. Can they do it from the left side? Icicles very speedy onto the course, but that bit of lack of control meant that all of them went off the arena. So I don't know if the Icicles will be able to make up that 4-point deficit. They are bunched up closer to the Red Lotus zone, and it's 3 points in the second period, meaning that they're just 1 point off the Red Lotus. Red Lotus will advance 26-25 in the smallest gap that we've seen all event. Team Atlantic and Icicles losing out by 1 point, getting 9th and 10th. But the Red Lotus, the championship leaders, will be in the quarterfinals and a chance of getting big points. Now, as we head into the quarterfinals, the follow-on rounds, Green Lotus and the Aquamarines. Green Lotus coming in from the left, and they will get a 10-point. That's the only marble that is on the arena. Green Lotus will definitely get a huge advantage after the first period. You can see 2 Aquamarines on the arena, and no collisions with the Green Lotus made them go off. It was just their lack of control, and so it's 21-14 after the first period. Aquamarines, this is a very tough deficit to make up, but will they be able to do it? They did well to make up the deficit in the previous heat, but the Green Lotus, was that going to be 2 10s? Yes, it will be. The Green Lotus will just stretch that gap. Are this going to be on for a record here? 3 10s across their 2 periods. Aquamarines will get an 8, but it's certainly not going to be enough. 29-22, very high scoring from both teams in the second period, and as a result, 50-36 for a new Quadrilla Marble League record. The Green Lotus easily get advancement, and doing it in style, I might add too. They are going to be a favorite heading into the semifinals. Now, Bauble Squad and the Shadow Riders, after witnessing a phenomenal performance by the Green Lotus. Bauble Squad, they will be the only one to have a marble on the arena. Coming in from the left, that will be 8 points. Bauble Squad, I think, will definitely be up by a lot after the first period. Shadow Riders, they didn't do too bad, but it's going to be 21-16 to the Bauble Squad. That's a 5-point advantage. Not insurmountable, but certainly not easy. Shadow Riders now coming in from left. They did get a pretty easy victory in the heats, and they will have an 8-point score. Bauble Squad, that last marble went from what was provisionally an 8th staying on the arena, was provisionally 8 points, now only going to be 3, I think. And I think the Shadow Riders, 70-10, they've made up the deficit. The Shadow Riders have done it, and the Shadow Riders, 33-31, will be getting advancement. That is how you make up a deficit in this event. Shadow Riders continuing their good momentum now. Celestials and the Poison Ivy in the quarterfinal. Both of these teams got huge victories over their opponents in the heats. We'll see who comes out on top in this one. Poison Ivy are the only marble with one on the arena. Only team with one on the arena. And that's their anchor marble, getting 6 points right in the middle. But it's only good enough for 16-15 after the first period. The marbles that were off were much better for the Celestials than the Poison Ivy. It's still anyone's game going into the second period. Can the Celestials make up that deficit? Poison Ivy, though, they will ensure that they won't. The Poison Ivy get one all the way to the 10 from the left side. See, it's their anchor marble again that has done such a good job of just staying out of trouble, making sure all the Celestials have collided, and 18-10. The first period was very close, but it's not close at all in the second. 34-25. Take a bow, the Poison Ivy. Huge victories in both of their heats. They will certainly be a force to reckon with to be reckoned with going into the later rounds. Now, defending champions, the Slime Balls, and championship leaders, the Red Lotus. This is going to be very interesting. Slime Balls were the only ones on the arena, but it's only going to be 4 points for that marble. See, everyone else that went off, the Slime Balls, that marble that's staying on the arena is just getting bumped back to their own side. And as a result, it's just 15 to 14, very close, going into the second period. Would we have it any other way from these two teams who have done such a good job in this season? First place and third place in the championship right now. This is going to be huge, the outcome of this period. And it will be the Slime Balls that are the only ones with the marble on the arena. The Slime Ball, I think that last Red Lotus that fell off the arena might be the tipping point for them in this heat. And as a result, actually, it's just 14 to 14. It's knotted in the second period, which means that just by 1 point, the Slime Balls will beat the Red Lotus, and the championship leaders are knocked out. They will get 5th place, still decent points, but with both the Green Lotus and the Slime Balls advancing, not to mention the Poison Ivy, the Red Lotus are going to be kicking themselves over that one. Speaking of the Green Lotus, second place team in the championship, they can easily take the lead here. But can they do it? They have to face the Shadow Riders, who have also looked very good in this event. But the Green Lotus able to make that mark stick. The only team with a marble on the arena. They will have won 6, and as a result, 17 to 11. These two teams, rivals back in Season 1, contending for the podium. Can the Shadow Riders overcome that deficit? 6 points. It's not going to be easy for them. Shadow Riders will come from the left, and they pull off the maneuver very well. They will get a 10 from their anchor marble. The Shadow Riders, they might have made up the deficit once again, just like they did in their quarterfinal. The Green Lotus, though, they have won off the course, but well into the zone. But it's only good enough for 11 and 21 for the Shadow Riders. Once again, the Shadow Riders make up the deficit, and it's 32 to 28 for them. The Shadow Riders are on their way to the final. Green Lotus are knocked out and will have to settle for bronze at best. Now, Poison Ivy and the Slime Balls. These two teams, rivals from Season 2, contended for the podium. And 1 apiece is it going to be on the arena. Slime Balls and the Poison Ivy, I think both of those marbles are going to be scoring 8. You can see one of the Poison Ivy in the Slime Ball zone, one of the Slime Balls in the Poison Ivy zone. So it's going to be a matter of how the other marbles do. And it's slightly better for the Poison Ivy, 19 to 16 after the first period. It's a 3-point deficit for them. Can the Slime Balls make it up though? Slime Balls. They will be coming from the left this time. Ooh, very slight collision in this one. And the Poison Ivy, I think, have done it. Look at the Poison Ivy. Have 2 marbles in the Slime Ball zone on the arena. 110 and 1-8 compared to just an 8 for the Slime Balls. And as a result, 28 to 22. The gap is stretched for the Poison Ivy. And it's another convincing victory for them. 47 to 38. They are on their way to the final. Potentially on their way to a first ever gold maybe. But before that, the Green Lotus and the Slime Balls for the 3rd place round to determine who gets the bronze. These two teams, 2nd place and 3rd place in the championship. Slime Balls have 2 on the arena. Slime Balls will have an 8 and a 6. Green Lotus will also have an 8. But that's the only marble that is going to be staying on the arena. What about the marbles off? It's very close. 20 to 19 to the Slime Balls. The Green Lotus off the arena did better. And so it's actually very close. Anyone's game heading into the second period. Who will capture bronze? This could be a very pivotal medal in terms of the championship. Green Lotus and the Slime Balls once again 1 apiece. It will be for 8. 1 apiece for marbles staying on the arena. Once again, it's all about the marbles off. I have no idea who will get the edge on this one. It's going to be 21 to 20 to the Slime Balls. They beat the Green Lotus by 1 point again, and so they beat the Green Lotus by 2 points, 41 to 39 in total. For the bronze, Slime Balls will capture the lowest step of the podium. But now, for the final, Shadow Riders and the Poison Ivy. Shadow Riders, they could make it they have made it 3 for 3 for podiums. Could they be getting a gold? But could the Poison Ivy be getting their first ever gold? It's going to be very interesting between these two teams, and no one is staying on the arena in the first period. It's 15 to 13 to the Shadow Riders. The Shadow Riders more in the Poison Ivy zone. On the far side there you can see. But it's only 2 points. This is still anyone's game, although the Shadow Riders have a slight advantage. What can the Poison Ivy do? Poison Ivy coming from the left. No one stays on the arena. Poison Ivy, though, have won far into the Shadow Rider zone. But they still need to make up that deficit of 2 points. And with no one on the arena, I'm not sure if it will be enough. Poison Ivy, what will it be? 15 to 11. They get an advantage of 4 points in the second period, and that means the Poison Ivy, 28 to 26, they have captured their first ever gold medal in the Team Quadrilla Marble League. After 4 silvers in this season, the Poison Ivy have finally become the brides, not the bridesmaids. They are celebrating on top, and they will be back in the title fight for sure. Shadow Riders will get second place, and the Slime Balls also in the title fight in third. And as a result, for the first time ever, we have a close multi-team battle for the championship heading into the final event. Red Lotus, Green Lotus, Poison Ivy, and the Slime Balls separated by just 5 points. Valley Dashers also can still win, but need a lot of help to do it. This is going to be a very exciting finale. You will not want to miss it, but don't miss the B Division finale as well. The final 2 events will be ramping up the marathon. Thank you so much for watching, and be there.